After my rebirth, I intentionally missed every encounter with my CEO wife. When she came to my company to wait for me to get off work, I would use the back door to avoid her. When she transferred to work in my city, I applied to go to the more distant, top-secret aerospace base for a confidential project. Jiang Wanning and I were childhood sweethearts through a pre-arranged engagement. However, as we grew up, she postponed the wedding date again and again until one night, after both of us got drunk, we accidentally slept together. Jiang Wanning has always been convinced that I deliberately planned that night. But to protect the reputation of both families, she had no choice but to marry me. However, whenever I proposed marital intimacy after marriage, she would avoid it, like the plague. And when I forcefully ordered her to fulfill her marital duties, she would only respectfully reply, "Yes, I obey the order," which led me to the point of having to use the aeroplane sleep method, a euphemism for crying yourself to sleep, or possibly a forced distraction to fall asleep in sorrow. Unexpectedly, I died suddenly on the spot from overexertion, likely from emotional distress or the aforementioned sleep method. I opened my eyes to see the messy bedding, and before I could even react, a woman's icy voice rang out beside my ear. "I've already called our parents. The wedding will be held in 5 days. Xiao Yichen, are you satisfied now?" I looked up and saw Jiang Wanning. She wasn't the 50-plus-year-old woman who had passed away, but her beautiful, vibrant self in her 20s. I realized I had been reborn, back to the eve of my marriage with Jiang Wanning. Our two families had set the engagement since we were young, but Jiang Wanning had never liked me. The wedding was delayed for many years, making me the laughingstock of the entire high city, until one day Jiang Wanning got drunk and I stumbled upon her. By an unfortunate mistake, we ended up having a substantive relationship. Jiang Wanning always believed that I had deliberately orchestrated that night, which made her hate me even more. But the rice had been cooked and was known to all, so she could only honor the engagement and marry me. After the marriage, Jiang Wanning was extremely cold towards me, yet I did my best to love her. When Jiang Wanning's company faced financial difficulties, I gave her all of the Xiao family's assets. Because she was sensitive to noise, I didn't dare to walk loudly at home. She said she liked fresh flowers, so I converted the entire yard into a garden. I was so cautiously deferential for more than 10 years, and only then did I finally earn a few smiles from her, but only occasionally. I used to think she was just naturally aloof, but now I know that she gave all her love to someone else. Memories, like ants, intensely and numbingly stung my heart. I forced myself back to the present, raising my head to look at the woman before me. "You don't have to marry me," I said calmly. "We can call off the engagement. Reborn, I would no longer waste my precious time on a woman who didn't love me." Jiang Wanning just sneered when she heard this. Xiao Yichen, trying to play hard to get again, I froze. I remember that when I was younger, I loved Jiang Wanning to the point of madness. Several times, I said I wanted to break off the engagement in a fit of pique, but was always persuaded otherwise by her parents. Therefore, Jiang Wanning no longer believed I would truly break the engagement. This time, I started to explain, but Jiang Wanning left without looking back. Just like in my previous life, Jiang Wanning never listened to anything I had to say. I sighed helplessly. "Fine. If I want to break off the engagement, I can just tell the Jiang family directly." Compared to this, I had more important matters. I picked up my phone and dialed a number. "Professor, may I still apply for the Starlight project at the aerospace base?" My professor's voice on the other end was full of pleasant surprise. "Of course you can. You are the researcher they specifically requested. However, I told you, this is the highest level of confidential project. Once you go to the Northwest Research Institute, you cannot return for 10 years, and you cannot even contact anyone. Have you thought it through?" I majored in aerospace engineering in college with excellent grades, and my graduate thesis topic was precisely the technology the country needed most now. Therefore, right after graduation, I received an invitation from the aerospace base. That was my dream. But in my past life, because Jiang Wanning proposed marriage, I struggled for 3 months, then gave up my dream to stay by her side. But in this life, I only want to live for myself. "I have thought it through. I want to go." My professor was very happy. "Great, but the project is starting soon. You have to leave in 5 days. Go say goodbye to your family quickly. But I had no family to say goodbye to. My parents passed away when I was 15, leaving only me and the Xiao family. I contacted Jiang Wenning's parents and expressed my intention to cancel the engagement. After hanging up, I headed to the auction house. My mother was a famous ceramic artist during her lifetime. Since she passed away, I had been collecting her works as a memorial. One piece, titled Love, which she created while pregnant with me, I had searched for years. Luckily, just before I was about to leave for the Northwest Research Institute, Love happened to be up for sale. I arrived at the auction house only to see Jiang Wenning and Song Jingnian were also there. Seeing me, Jiang Wenning spoke coldly. "Xiao Yichen, what game are you playing now?" I didn't understand. What? Jiang Wenning's beautiful eyes showed even more impatience. "You called my parents to say you want to break off the engagement? Aren't you just afraid that I'll change my mind?" "Don't worry, I've already sent out the invitations. There's no way I'm backing out." I finally realized Jiang Wenning and the others still didn't believe I was serious about breaking the engagement. "You misunderstood, I really am." My explanation was cut short by Jiang Wenning again. "Xiao Yichen, that's enough." Looking at the woman's utterly cold expression, I suddenly didn't want to say anything more. Fine. Anyway, if I want to break the engagement, they'll know when the groom doesn't show up at the wedding 4 days from now. The auction soon began. Jiang Wenning gently asked Song Jingnian, "Your birthday is in a few days. Tell me what you like, and I'll buy it for you." Song Jingnian nervously fiddled with the corner of his clothes, shaking his head gently. "Auntie, raising me is already the greatest kindness. The things here are too expensive. I don't deserve them." "Nonsense," Jiang Wenning frowned. "My Jingnian deserves the best things in the world." Song Jingnian's mother was Jiang Wenning's subordinate and died, saving Jiang Wenning 12 years ago. Jiang Wenning adopted Song Jingnian and let him call her auntie. At that time, Song Jingnian was just over 10 years old, and Jiang Wenning was nearly 20. Years later, the little boy had grown into a handsome, tall young man. Seeing the look in Jiang Wenning's eyes as she watched Song Jingnian blush, I suddenly realized how slow-witted I had been in my past life, not to notice Jiang Wenning's love for Song Jingnian. Just then, the auctioneer's voice sounded. "Next is the famous porcelain artwork, Love." The pure white porcelain piece was brought onto the stage. It was a mother elephant embracing a baby elephant. Song Jingnian suddenly looked up. Jiang Wenning keenly noticed. "You like this?" Song Jingnian blushed. "Yes, it reminds me of my late mother." Meanwhile, I had already raised my paddle, 10 million. I directly offered a price double the market value, determined to secure my mother's artwork. But unexpectedly, Jiang Wenning also raised her paddle. 15 million. I sharply turned to look at her. Jiang Wenning's expression suggested it was only natural. "Jingnian likes it." A flash of anger crossed my eyes. "This is my mother's artwork." Jiang Wenning paused, noticing the artist's name. The hand holding the paddle unconsciously lowered. But then Song Jingnian next to her suddenly choked up and said, "It's okay, Auntie. Anyway, I didn't deserve such a good thing." Jiang Wenning looked at the boy's slightly reddened eyes, and her heart ached. She immediately turned and called for a staff member. "Light the sky lantern. I must have this porcelain piece." Lighting the sky lantern meant that no matter how high others bid, Jiang Wenning would add another million, determined to acquire Love regardless of the cost. My face went completely pale. "Jiang Wenning," I said, my voice trembling, "must you do this?" "I have never asked you for a single thing, but this time, please, I beg you, let me have my mother's artwork, okay? My mother mentioned this porcelain piece many times when she was alive. It's the one piece I want to buy back the most." Jiang Wenning still refused to yield. "Sorry, it's rare for Jingnian to like something." My hand holding the paddle fell dejectedly. Although my parents left me a large inheritance, my liquid cash was ultimately no match for Jiang Wenning. My mother's artwork, Love, was ultimately placed before Song Jingnian. "Auntie, thank you. I love it so much." Song Jingnian joyfully took it, but then suddenly lost his grip. Crash! The porcelain fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. My mother's favorite artwork was ultimately destroyed. I brought the fragments home and carefully tried to piece them back together. Unexpectedly, just as I was putting together a rough shape, the maid came over. Young Master Song is here. He is kneeling at the villa entrance, saying he wants to apologize to you. He also said that unless you personally go out and tell him you forgive him, he won't get up. I didn't even lift my head. Tell him to leave. A while later, a downpour started. Jiang Wanning walked into the Shao family villa with an ashen face. Shao Yi-chen, aren't you going too far? The usually cold and beautiful woman had fire in her eyes now. Jing Nian has been kneeling outside for an hour. Is it really that difficult to just walk out and tell him you forgive him? My hand assembling the porcelain paused. He chose to kneel, I said coldly. He ruined my mother's thing. Why should I go out and coax him into accepting my forgiveness? Jiang Wanning was furious. But then her assistant rushed in. This is bad, President Jiang. Young Master Song has fainted. What? Jiang Wanning's expression utterly changed. She looked up and saw I was still calmly putting together the fragments. In a fit of rage, she waved her hand, knocking the already pieced porcelain segment to the floor. Shao Yi-chen, you're truly heartless. Throwing down this sentence, she rushed out without looking back, helping the unconscious Song Jingnian up from the rain. I looked at the porcelain, completely shattered on the floor again, and my eyes turned red. Heartless? For so many years I pursued her, just for one more glance from her. And what did I get in return? A tragic death in my previous life, and this life's indifference. Who is truly heartless? I crouched down, picking up the irreparable fragments one by one. Jiang Wanning, I will not love you anymore. Not even the last bit. Having decided to cut ties, I packaged all the things Jiang Wanning had given me over the years and mailed them back to the Jiang family. She supposedly gave them to me, but in reality her parents forced her to, and she just had her assistant buy random things. Only one item was too precious, the Jiang family's heirloom jade pendant. I planned to return it to Jiang Wanning in person. Unexpectedly, upon arriving outside Song Jingnian's hospital room, I heard his voice. Auntie, don't be so good to me. I'm afraid I'll get used to your kindness and then I won't adapt after you get married. Through the clear glass of the hospital room door, I saw Jiang Wanning's face full of distress. She instinctively raised her hand, seemingly wanting to embrace Song Jingnian out of instinct, but she restrained herself. Her hand finally landed on the boy's head. Her eyes were restrained and hidden. What nonsense are you saying? Even if I get married, I will always be good to you. Song Jingnian's eyes brightened. But then he heard Jiang Wanning continue. I told you, you can treat me as your own flesh and blood auntie. I will take care of you for life. Disappointment flashed in Song Jingnian's eyes, and he lowered his head. But auntie, you will soon have your own child after you get married. When you have your own child, what will I be? There won't be any. This time, Jiang Wanning replied without hesitation. Shao Yi-chen and I won't have children. Song Jingnian was stunned. Why? Jiang Wanning looked down at him, her expression holding too many unreadable emotions. I already lied to Shao Yi-chen that I have a problem with my uterus, and that getting pregnant carries the risk of severe hemorrhaging. He agreed not to force me to have children. He will also have a vasectomy after we get married. Jingnian, I will always be your auntie. All my future inheritance will also go to you, so don't worry, okay? Auntie! Song Jingnian's eyes reddened, and he lunged into Jiang Wanning's embrace. Standing outside the hospital room, my face was pale. Jiang Wanning had indeed told me that she had a problem with her uterus, and that there was a risk of severe hemorrhaging if she got pregnant. I never doubted her words. So, in the past life, immediately after we got married, I went for a vasectomy, just in case she accidentally got pregnant. I protected her and respected her so carefully, yet I never dreamed that this was a lie. Unable to bear it, I took a step back. And just then, Jiang Wanning's bodyguard, seeing me at the door, was taken aback. I stuffed the jade pendant in my hand to him. Give this to Jiang Wanning. Then I left without looking back. Today is my birthday. Since I was leaving soon, I, who never liked crowds, was holding a grand birthday banquet for my friends. Unexpectedly, Jiang Wanning brought Song Jingnian along. A gift, Jiang Wanning said coldly, tossing the box in her hand to me. I immediately handed the jade back. Didn't you receive the things I asked the bodyguard to deliver to you last time? If you saw the returned heirloom jade, you should understand that I do not plan to marry you. Jiang Wanning frowned. I didn't look. I told you before I don't lack things. You don't need to give me gifts. I paused, realizing that Jiang Wanning likely saw the bag and simply assumed I was giving her a gift, so she didn't even open it to check. I recalled that in my previous life, when I was sorting through Jiang Wanning's belongings, I found boxes gathering dust all over the basement storage room. All gifts I had given her. The necklace I spent a week carving for her 25th birthday. The safety charm I knelt for 3 days and 3 nights at Mount Pho to pray for when she was sick at 33. The calming incense I personally blended after a year of study when she started having headaches at 40. So many thoughtful, painstaking gifts were carelessly tossed into the storage room, unopened. In contrast, Song Jingnian's paper-folded stars, cheap bracelet, and even a slip of paper were carefully treasured in a safe. A look of self-mockery appeared on my face, but I didn't bother to explain further. Instead, going to greet my guests. Halfway through the banquet, Song Jingnian suddenly collapsed onto Jiang Wanning. "Auntie, my head is so dizzy." Jiang Wanning's expression instantly changed. "Are you sick? Or did you eat something bad? I'll take you to the hospital." With that, she helped Song Jingnian up and rushed out. I frowned. I was the host of the banquet, and if anything happened to Song Jingnian, it would be my responsibility. Not wanting to cause trouble when I was about to leave, I followed them, but as I reached Jiang Wanning's black Bentley, I heard Song Jingnian's heavy breathing. "Auntie, I'm so hot, and it's so swollen down there." The hand I was about to use to knock on the car door froze. Even I could tell there was a problem, let alone Jiang Wanning inside the car. I heard her anxiously say, "Jingnian, you've been drugged. I'll take you to the hospital immediately." But Song Jingnian hugged her tightly inside the car. "It's too late, Auntie. I'm so uncomfortable. Please give it to me. I only want you." The young man's voice was low and melodic, fiercely stirring the woman's most sensitive nerves. Jiang Wanning was already struggling to suppress her rational self, and hearing the young man's confession, all her repressed feelings finally burst forth. "Okay," she whispered. The young man instantly transformed into a beast, fiercely pushing her down. I watched the car violently shake and heard Jiang Wanning making sounds I had never heard before. Seductive, charming, and captivating. My mouth curved into a weary, sarcastic smile. In my previous life, I was married to Jiang Wanning for 20 years, yet our intimate moments were extremely rare. Even the later once a month was a birthday gift I had begged for on my 35th birthday. I once thought Jiang Wanning was uninterested in such matters. But listening to the intensity inside the car now, I finally understood. She wasn't uninterested in such matters. She was just uninterested in me. I turned away. Perhaps this is for the best. In this life, everyone has gotten what they truly wanted. I returned to the banquet. 2 hours later, as the party was drawing to a close, I went up to the lounge on the second floor and drank a glass of juice, ready to sit down and rest. Unexpectedly, a wave of heat surged in my abdomen. I felt something was wrong and was about to call for help when an icy voice sounded from the doorway. "How does it feel, Xiao Yichen? Being drugged isn't pleasant, is it?" I sharply looked up and saw Jiang Wanning standing by the door. I immediately realized, "You put the drug in my orange juice." I was furious. "Jiang Wanning, what are you trying to do?" Jiang Wanning sneered, taking a step forward. "I wanted to ask you what you were trying to do. Why did you drug Jingnian? Just because he accidentally broke your mother's artwork, you drugged him, wanting to humiliate him in public and ruin his reputation? He's still a child, Xiao Yichen. How could you be so vicious?" I was completely dumbfounded. "When did I drug Song Jingnian?" Jiang Wanning scoffed. "Don't deny it," I asked Jingnian. "The only thing he drank today was a glass of water you gave him. If it wasn't you, who was it?" In that moment, I understood what absolute favoritism meant. Based on a single sentence from Song Jingnian, Jiang Wanning sentenced me to death without even asking. "Lunatic!" I sneered, struggling to pick up my phone to call an ambulance. But Jiang Wanning snatched my phone away. "Jiang Wanning, what are you doing?" Jiang Wanning looked down at me from above. "This drug is very potent. Calling an ambulance is useless. Your only option is to beg me." I didn't understand. "Beg you for what?" "To help you with the antidote, of course," Jiang Wanning sneered. "But I have conditions. You must kneel and apologize to Jingnian before I help you with the antidote. I looked at Jiang Wanning in disbelief. She had just finished her tryst with Song Jingnian in the car, and now she wanted to use me as an antidote, even forcing me to kneel and beg her. At this moment, I felt an unprecedented disgust. But Jiang Wanning moved closer. Xiao Yichen, stop pretending. Isn't this what you wanted the most? She said coldly. Before, you used this kind of trick to force me to marry you. Now, I'm just making you apologize for your crime. Is there a problem? I finally couldn't take it anymore, pushing her away and grabbing the scissors on the table. Make me kneel and apologize to Song Jingnian? In your dreams! With that, I plunged the scissors into my thigh without hesitation. Jiang Wanning's expression finally changed at that moment. Xiao Yichen, what are you doing? But I ignored her, stabbing my thigh again and again with the scissors. The dark suit pants didn't show the blood, but my white shirt was instantly stained crimson. Jiang Wanning stood still, stunned. I would rather hurt myself than touch her. The thought flashed through my mind, and Jiang Wanning felt an unprecedented surge of frustration. Xiao Yichen! She screamed, grabbing my hand. The scissors clattered to the floor. The intense pain brought a moment of clarity to my hazy mind. At the same time, applause erupted downstairs, clearly waiting for me, the birthday host, to speak. Enduring the severe pain, I shook off Jiang Wanning and walked out, heading down the stairs. Seeing my blood-soaked body, the entire crowd gasped, but my expression remained unchanged. I raised my wine glass and smiled at everyone. Happy birthday to me. May my future be full of promise. After saying this, I finally couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed. Amidst the gasps, Jiang Wanning rushed forward and caught me. I was unconscious for a day and a night. After being discharged and returning home, I had just finished packing my bags to leave when Jiang Wanning unexpectedly arrived with Song Jingnian. I checked the matter of the drugging, Jiang Wanning said stiffly. It was mistakenly given by someone else. It really has nothing to do with you. I don't have anything to reaction. Song Jingnian, on the other hand, was crying again. Brother-in-law, it's all because of my careless words that Auntie misunderstood you. To apologize to you, I personally designed the suit for your and Auntie's wedding. Please take it as a birthday gift. I finally looked up at the suit in his hand. Memories from my past life flooded back, and I sneered. Don't you check the size when you design clothes? Where would I be able to fit into this suit? In my previous life, on the eve of the wedding, Song Jingnian had also presented me with a suit he personally designed. Jiang Wanning had peremptorily rejected the expensive custom-made suit I had carefully chosen, insisting that I wear Song Jingnian's design. The ridiculous thing was that Song Jingnian's suit was too small and tight. I couldn't wear it at all. But in the past life, Jiang Wanning had just said coldly, "Wouldn't it be fine if you just ate less?" As a result, for 2 days before the wedding, I dared not drink a single drop of water and eventually fainted at the wedding. In this life, I naturally wouldn't be so foolish. Hearing my words, Song Jingnian's face immediately turned pale. "I'm sorry," he said with a look of panic. "When I designed the suit, I kept thinking of it as if I were the groom, so I accidentally..." Jiang Wanning suddenly looked up at him, her eyes filled with extremely complex emotions. Song Jingnian nervously covered his mouth, realizing he had misspoken. The air became momentarily awkward until I sneered. "In that case, you wear this suit." Song Jingnian was stunned. Jiang Wanning's face instantly turned cold. "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm Jingnian's aunt." I curled my lips mockingly. "See? It's always the guilty ones who are more easily agitated." I didn't feel like exposing them and just said flatly, "It's fine if someone else wears it. In any case, I won't be wearing it." Jiang Wanning immediately frowned. "What do you mean?" My meaning has always been very clear. I looked up and repeated, word for word, "I don't want to marry you. I will not show up at tomorrow's wedding. Are you playing hard to get again?" Jiang Wanning was about to speak impatiently, but seeing my icy gaze, the words died in her throat. Her eyes fell on my heavily bandaged thigh. She suddenly remembered how yesterday I'd rather hurt myself so badly than have relations with her. Jiang Wanning's heart became inexplicably irritated again. "Xiao Yichen, the wedding is imminent. Don't throw a tantrum." That's right, she was certain that I was just throwing a fit because of her recent neglect. Once the tantrum passed, I would be happily and eagerly waiting to marry her again. As for the suit, Jiang Wanning's eyes fell on the suit nearby. I thought she would, as in the past life, make me fast and starve myself so I could fit into the suit, but unexpectedly, the woman spoke. Since you prefer the custom-made suit you ordered before, just wear that one. Song Jingnian suddenly looked up. Auntie, Jiang Wanning stroked his head. It's okay. You can design other clothes next time. Song Jingnian's face slightly paled, but he still nodded obediently. Jiang Wanning left with Song Jingnian, but not long after, Song Jingnian returned. He stood in front of me and spoke coldly and bluntly. Xiao Yichen, you saw everything in the car yesterday, didn't you? The Song Jingnian in front of me now was completely devoid of his usual timid demeanor, instead filled with deep hostility. I didn't answer directly, but countered, Did you drug yourself? Song Jingnian didn't deny it. That's right. Auntie's love belongs to me anyway. I just gave her a chance. I understood. In my past life, I was unclear whether the relationship between Jiang Wanning and Song Jingnian was one-sided on Jiang Wanning's part or mutual. In this life, I was certain, so I said, I wish you happiness. My words were sincere, but Song Jingnian instantly exploded. Xiao Yichen, stop being so sarcastic. But I have to admit, your tactics are much better than before, he sneered. Before, you only knew how to pester her like a desperate dog. Now you've learned to put on an act. Do you think because you'd rather die than have relations with her yesterday, she'll look at you differently? I'm telling you, keep dreaming. Today I'm going to make you realize who Auntie truly cares about. As his voice fell, he suddenly rushed over and covered my mouth and nose with a handkerchief. The pungent smell hit me. I tried to resist, but my injured leg left me weak, and the servants had long left because the conversation was too private. I struggled, but soon lost consciousness. I was awakened by the heat. Opening my eyes, all I saw was fire. Song Jingnian was lying next to me. I quickly realized and angrily shouted at Song Jingnian, You set my house on fire? Are you crazy? Song Jingnian, however, sneered. Don't you think Auntie has feelings for you? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how much she loves me. Just as he finished speaking, Jiang Wanning's anxious voice rang out behind me. Jingnian! Jingnian! Where are you? Song Jingnian instantly shed his vicious look and shouted in panic. Auntie, I'm here. Come save me quickly. Jiang Wanning quickly rushed into the room. Seeing me beside them, she paused, but Song Jingnian's yelp from the heat immediately drew her attention away. Jingnian! She immediately helped Song Jingnian up. As she reached my side, she quickly said, Yao Yichen, I'll take Jingnian out and come back to save you. With that, she quickly left. I curled my lips in a mocking smile. Enduring the pain in my leg, I used all my strength to crawl toward the outside. I no longer believed Jiang Wanning's words. I had to get out myself. I crawled downstairs and saw that the first floor was almost completely engulfed in flames. Jiang Wanning was clearing a path for an exit, while Song Jingnian, a grown man, merely stood and watched. Seeing me crawl out, her expression changed. Didn't I tell you to wait for me? But now was not the time to pursue that. She was about to help Song Jingnian out when Song Jingnian suddenly exclaimed, Watch out! A wooden beam, severed by the fire, dropped straight down. The first piece headed in my direction. Jiang Wanning's face changed, and she was about to rush over, but the next second, crack, another beam fell, heading towards Song Jingnian. In a split second, Jiang Wanning finally turned back and shielded Song Jingnian behind her. The burning wood struck her back, making her face turn pale with pain, and she screamed. At the same time, the other piece of wood struck my back. A sharp pain came, and in a daze, I looked up and saw firefighters finally rushing in. Jiang Wanning was still holding Song Jingnian, shielding him tightly in her arms in a gesture of absolute protection. I smiled. Jiang Wanning, you made the same choice this life too. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital. Jiang Wanning, already bandaged and treated, was in front of me. Seeing me wake up, she spoke stiffly. I've asked the doctor. Our injuries are not serious. The wound has been treated and won't affect today's wedding. I didn't expect that even at this moment, Jiang Wanning still thought I wanted to marry her. At this point, I was too lazy to explain. I just got out of bed. I'm checking out of the hospital. Today is the departure date for the Starlight Project. I cannot be late. Jiang Wanning, however, thought I was rushing to leave for the wedding. She involuntarily breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, I was still eager to marry her. She felt an inexplicable relaxation and even a little joy in her heart. Jiang Wanning didn't know why she had these emotions, but feeling inexplicably annoyed, she immediately put on a cold, frosty face. I'll head to the wedding venue first. You come to the venue after you've taken care of things here. The moment Jiang Wanning left, I called my driver. Young master, are we going to the wedding venue? I replied without hesitation. No, the airport. Get the luggage and meet my professor at the airport. After boarding the plane, I received countless messages from Jiang Wanning. Xiao Yichen, where are you? Why aren't you at the wedding venue yet? You'll be too late if you don't come now. Do you still want to get married? Xiao Yichen, I'm giving you 10 minutes. Come over immediately. Jiang Wanning seemed to have completely lost her patience and called directly, but I ignored it, turning off the phone, pulling out the SIM card, and tossing it into the trash can. I turned and boarded the plane. Goodbye, Jiang Wanning. In this life, I will only live for myself. Meanwhile, at the wedding venue, guests had already taken their seats. The marriage between High City's two major wealthy families was naturally lively, but backstage there was chaos. Father Jiang's face was ashen. Wanning, have you reached Yichen yet? The wedding starts in 15 minutes. If there's no groom, we'll be the biggest joke in High City. Jiang Wanning's face was also extremely ugly. She dialed my number one more time, but this time, she heard the cold, mechanical female voice. The number you have dialed is currently switched off. Smash! Jiang Wanning slammed her phone onto the table. What on earth is this Xiao Yichen doing? Wasn't he looking forward to this wedding so much? Didn't he even scheme against me just to marry me? Wasn't it his lifelong dream to be my groom? Now that the wedding is finally here, where has he run off to? At this time, Mother Jiang had finished calling the hospital. I confirmed it. Yichen has been discharged, but he didn't come to the wedding venue. Could it be that he doesn't want to get married? Mother Jiang grew more anxious the more she thought about it, almost crying. He did say he wanted to cancel the engagement before. I thought he was just saying it out of anger. Now that I think about it, it must be because you haven't been devoted enough to Yichen. That's why he's lost heart. How am I going to explain this to his mother? Mother Jiang and my mother had been best friends since childhood and had a very close relationship. Since my mother passed away early, Mother Jiang had long treated me as her own son, eagerly hoping for me to become family. Impossible, Jiang Wanning blurted out. How could he not want to marry me? But the next second, she thought of the day before when I was drugged. With such a strong drug, anyone would lose their mind and grab any available person for relief. Yet I had endured it, refusing to touch her, even preferring to seriously injure myself. It seemed I was truly determined to break all ties with her. Thinking of this, Jiang Wanning felt as if a piece of her heart was missing, and she became inexplicably restless. I'll go to his house to find him. She turned and started to leave. But Father Jiang yelled, The Xiao family villa burned down. Where are you going to find him? Jiang Wanning's steps halted. That's right. She had almost forgotten that the Xiao family house inexplicably caught fire yesterday and was now a ruin. Could it be because I saved Song Jingyan first in the fire? Thinking of this, Jiang Wanning felt even more frustrated. She was about to go look for me elsewhere when, just then, a wedding staff member rushed over. The groom is here! Jiang Wanning was stunned, then sighed in relief. I knew it. She had said I loved her so much, how could I not come to the wedding? I was just playing hard to get again. Thinking this, Jiang Wanning felt a bit annoyed and was about to scold me for being immature. But looking up, she saw the person who had arrived and froze. Jingyan, why is it you? Seeing the clothes the young man was wearing, she was even more confused. Why are you dressed like that? The groom who walked in with the staff member was not me at all, but Song Jingyan. He was wearing the suit he had designed. Hearing Jiang Wanning's question, he blushed and looked down. Auntie, I heard everything. Xiao Yichen hasn't appeared yet. So many guests have come to the wedding. If the groom doesn't show up, the entire High City will laugh at the Jiang family. That's why I put on the suit. I thought, if Xiao Yichen doesn't come, let me be the groom, I'll marry Auntie. With that, he suddenly looked up, his eyes sparkling as if he had mustered all his courage. Jiang Wanning was stunned, but Mother Jiang, on the side, didn't say a word, stepping forward and slapping Song Jingyan across the face. You little lowlife. You want to marry our Wanning? In your dreams. Jiang Wanning finally snapped back, shielding Song Jingyan behind her and glaring angrily at Mother Jiang. Mom, what are you doing? Mother Jiang sneered. Jiang Wanning, stop pretending. You say Song Jingnian is your adopted child, but anyone with eyes can see that you two are having an inappropriate relationship. Ow. Tell me the truth. Is it because of this little lowlife that Yi Chen wants to cancel the engagement? Yang Wanning's pupils constricted. Before she could speak, Song Jingnian was already crying. Madam Jiang, if you must blame someone, blame me. I'm the one who fell in love with Auntie. I couldn't help myself. I begged her to sleep with me. It's all my fault. It has nothing to do with Auntie. Mother Jiang almost fainted. You two actually slept together? I'll kill you two shameless people. With that, she rushed forward, trying to hit both Song Jingnian and Jiang Wanning. But Father Jiang roared, "That's enough." Mother Jiang stopped. Father Jiang looked up at Song Jingnian, pondered for a long time, and then said, "As things stand, we can only let Song Jingnian be the groom." Song Jingnian's eyes instantly lit up. Mother Jiang, however, shrieked, "Husband, what nonsense are you talking about? Do you have a better solution?" Father Jiang roared, "For today's wedding, everyone with a name in High City is here. If there is no groom, our Jiang family will become a laughingstock. If we just switch the groom, people will at most gossip for a bit, but with no groom at all, we'll lose all our face. Everyone will think Wan Ning is a failure. At this juncture, if you don't let Song Jingnian be the groom, where are you going to find another one?" With that, Father Jiang looked at Jiang Wanning. "Wanning, what do you think?" Song Jingnian looked at Jiang Wanning full of anticipation. But Jiang Wanning was stunned. She spoke, "But Jingnian is my adopted son in name." "That doesn't count," Father Jiang said impatiently. "You don't have a blood relation, nor did you go through the formal adoption procedure. You just took care of him for a few years. Although people will gossip, it's better than being treated as a joke." Jiang Wanning stood still. At the same time, the wedding time had arrived. The sound of the MC and the guests. Applause came from outside. Song Jingnian anxiously grabbed Jiang Wanning's arm. "Auntie, what are you hesitating for? Hurry up and agree." Song Jingnian was truly ecstatic at this moment. He was adopted by Jiang Wanning at the age of 10 and initially revered her as an elder. But later, in adolescence, he inevitably fell in love with her. He loved not only her beauty, but also the Jiang family's wealth. He could also sense Jiang Wanning's feelings for him. But because of their status and her engagement to me, she had suppressed all her emotions. Today, all of those shackles could finally be broken. This was the best opportunity for him to legitimately marry Jiang Wanning, and he couldn't afford to miss it. Thinking of this, he looked at Jiang Wanning full of anticipation, waiting for her consent. But Jiang Wanning suddenly looked up. "Dad, I can't marry Jingnian." Song Jingnian's face instantly turned ashen. Father Jiang was also stunned. "Why? Haven't you always liked Song Jingnian very much?" Jiang Wanning didn't look at Song Jingnian, just spoke calmly. "Switching the groom to Jingnian can indeed temporarily resolve today's predicament, but what about afterward? We have so many cooperation projects with the Xiao family. Although the company is managed by a professional manager, all decision-making power rests with Yi Chen. Even though he didn't come to the wedding today, do you really think he'd be happy to see me marry Jingnian? If Yi Chen is just throwing a tantrum and didn't show up, what would he do if he finds out the groom has been replaced? If he cancels all business with the Jiang family in a fit of rage? Not only that, but if we switch the groom, people will also suspect that our Jiang family is breaking its promise, which will affect our reputation in the business world in the future." Jiang Wanning's calm analysis made Father Jiang agree. "What you said makes sense. But today's wedding is actually easy to handle," Jiang Wanning interrupted. "Didn't the Xiao family have a fire yesterday? Just say that my injury from the fire suddenly worsened, and we had to cancel the wedding, and we'll hold it again in a month." Mother Jiang's eyes suddenly lit up when she heard this. Yes. Husband, trust me, Yi Chen grew up before my eyes. He won't give up on Wan Ning." Father Jiang was now completely convinced. "Fine, let's do as you say." Father and Mother Jiang quickly went out to explain to the guests. Jiang Wanning then turned her attention to Song Jingnian beside her. Seeing his reddened eyes, she felt a pang of guilt and whispered, "Jingnian." Song Jingnian suddenly looked up. "Auntie, are you marrying Xiao Yichen really just for the sake of the Jiang and Xiao family's business?" Jiang Wanning's eyelid twitched. "Of course! What else could it be for?" Song Jingnian breathed a sigh of relief. "That's good. I thought Auntie had really fallen in love with him. How could that be?" Jiang Wanning blurted out. Song Jingnian forced a smile. Then that's good. Zhang Wanning's hands unconsciously clenched into fists, her manicured nails digging into her palms. Yes, that's right. I'm marrying him only for the Jiang family's business and the promise. It's really just that. After the wedding was canceled, Jiang Wanning immediately went to look for me. She went to my various apartments but couldn't find me. She finally came to the school where I worked. Unlike the typical rich young master, I didn't study business management, nor did I care for sports cars or luxury watches. I was focused on aerospace research. After graduating from college, I went straight into graduate school, leaving the family business to professional managers. After graduating, I stayed on as a researcher. Zhang Wanning was quite dismissive of my job, deeming the salary too low and the work completely useless to the family business. She had already decided that after we got married, she would make me quit this job. Arriving at the school, she found my professor and directly asked if he had seen me. The professor was stunned. "Yi Chen has already left, didn't you know?" Jiang Wanning froze. "Left? To where?" Quote, "To participate in an aerospace research project. He left this morning," the professor replied. Jiang Wanning was speechless. "So to avoid the wedding, I actually went on a business trip?" She was slightly annoyed. This Xiao Yichen's temper has really grown. She immediately asked when I would return. My professor knew Jiang Wanning and was aware she was my fiancée, so he was confused by her question. "Didn't Yi Chen tell you? He's participating in a top-secret research project. There's no definite time. Conservatively speaking, he'll need at least 10 years to return." 10 years? Jiang Wanning's face instantly paled. At the same time, the exclusive helicopter for the Northwest Aerospace Base landed. I stepped off the plane, and a senior colleague came to greet me. Quote, "Hello, I'm Li Wenshuang. I'll be in charge of guiding you." He took me to the dormitory, introduced the cafeteria and the work situation, and then spoke. "I heard you're the young master of the Xiao family, a genuine second-generation rich man. Life at the base is quite simple. Will you be able to adapt?" I smiled. "I will. A simple life is good. This place is for research, after all." The senior colleague smiled when he heard this and extended his hand. "Welcome to the Starlight Project." I extended my hand as well. The dream that was broken in the last life can finally be continued in this life. On the other side, Zhang Wanning had no idea how she got back to the Jiang family house. She pushed the door open, distraught, and Mother Jiang immediately rushed over. "How is it? Did you find Yi Chen?" Zhang Wanning finally collected herself. "He went to the aerospace research base." "Research base?" Mother Jiang was stunned. "How long is the business trip?" Jiang Wanning's hands unconsciously clenched. "A minimum of 10 years. He might never come back." Each word felt like it took all her strength to utter. Never come back? Mother Jiang's face also turned pale. She suddenly remembered something and murmured to herself. No wonder. Jiang Wanning was jolted. No wonder what? I heard before that he was signing a long-term agreement with the company's professional managers and entrusting some of his assets. I thought it was because of the marriage. I didn't think it was because he had already made up his mind to leave. Jiang Wanning turned around sharply, tinged with anger. "Why didn't you say so earlier?" Mother Jiang instantly exploded too. "I should be asking you. Why did Yi Chen suddenly leave for no reason? He liked you so much before. Why did he suddenly become so determined to cancel the engagement and go to such a faraway place? What exactly did you do to Yi Chen?" Jiang Wanning's first reaction was to argue back, but the first word died in her mouth. Recent events flooded her mind like a tide. First, after that night, she agreed to marry me, but she thoroughly humiliated me. Then, she snatched my mother's artwork for Jingnian, and Jingnian accidentally broke it. Later, when Jingnian was drugged, she unconditionally misunderstood me and even drugged me, thinking she was giving me a taste of my own medicine. And a few days ago, in that fire, she abandoned me. Only now, when her mother asked, did she realize that, setting aside years of neglect, in just a few short days, she had hurt me so many times, she abruptly turned and walked out. Mother Jiang immediately asked, "Where are you going?" Jiang Wanning's face was pale. "I'm going to bring him back." Jiang Wanning returned to the school and found my professor. She spoke straightforwardly. "Professor Chen, please give me Yan Chen's current contact information at the institute. I need to bring him back." Professor Chen was dumbfounded when he heard this. "Young lady, did you misunderstand? His project is a national-level key project, not some casual trip. Every researcher is handpicked. Once you enter, you can't just leave whenever you want. The usually steady Jiang Wanning only felt an unprecedented irritation, and her tone became urgent. Professor Chen, you don't understand the exact situation. He doesn't actually want to go to the institute. It's just that we had a conflict a few days ago, and he left impulsively to spite me. Even at this point, Jiang Wanning still believed I left out of PK because of the recent events. She continued, he'll probably regret it in a few days. That would actually affect the project schedule, so it's better to let me bring him back now. Professor Chen was stunned again when he heard this. No, you've got it wrong. Yi Chen's decision to join this project wasn't just made in the last couple of days. Jiang Wanning froze. As Jiang Wanning walked out of the institute, she was completely in a daze. Professor Chen's words echoed in her ears. Yi Chen called us last week, saying he wanted to join this project. His tone was particularly firm, and we confirmed it with him multiple times, so he definitely wasn't acting on impulse. Jiang Wanning stopped walking. Last week, that was just when I had proposed to cancel the engagement. She had thought I was just saying it out of anger again, but she never expected I was serious. While canceling the engagement with her, I had already contacted the institute and prepared to leave. But why? At that time, the auction hadn't happened yet, the drugging hadn't happened, and the fire hadn't happened. Why would I be so determined to leave? Jiang Wanning was utterly perplexed. She stumbled home in a daze, only to see her father sitting in the living room with a look of happiness on his face. Wanning, you're back! I have good news to tell you. The wedding groom is sorted out. Jiang Wanning was stunned, then immediately became excited. Did you find Yi Chen? Father Jiang shook his head. Of course not. I went to ask. He's participating in a national-level top-secret project and can't have any contact with the outside world. No one can find him. Jiang Wanning's arms dropped listlessly. Father Jiang continued happily. It's okay that we can't find Yi Chen. I found his cousin. He's also a member of the Shao family, and I've asked him to marry you in Yi Chen's place. This way, it still counts as a marriage alliance with the Shao family. I've asked him, and he has agreed. We won't be the laughingstock of High City. Jiang Wanning's expression changed. The one engaged to me is clearly Shao Yi Chen. How can you just switch grooms? And aren't you worried that Yi Chen will get angry and cancel our cooperation after he finds out? What nonsense are you talking about? Father Jiang frowned, looking at Jiang Wanning. Yi Chen has gone to participate in a long-term project like that. It's obvious he genuinely wants to break the engagement and truly gave up on you. Why would he make things difficult for us just because we're marrying someone else in the family? Not only that, he won't be back for 10 or 20 years. The Shao family company has already been entrusted to professional managers. It's impossible for him to suddenly interfere. In short, all those worries you mentioned at the wedding before no longer exist. The only thing we need to solve is to prevent others from thinking our Jiang family broke the engagement. So the best way is to marry another Shao family member. This way, everyone will just think our family is very faithful to our promise. All the things we were worried about have been solved, Wanning. What are you still worried about? Jiang Wanning's hands unconsciously clenched tightly into fists, and her expression was bewildered. Yes, she knew her father was right. All the things she needed to worry about had been solved. She only needed to marry my cousin. She didn't love me anyway. Marrying me or marrying a Shao family cousin would be the same for her. But why? Why did she feel such strong resistance? Why did her heart feel as if a piece had been dug out, making her so uncomfortable? I can't marry Yi Chen's cousin. She couldn't understand what she was thinking, only repeating mechanically, I just can't marry him. Father Jiang was exasperated and about to lash out. But Mother Jiang, who had been silent, suddenly stepped forward and held him back. She looked up at Jiang Wanning. Wanning, honestly, at this point you can marry anyone. Yi Chen's cousin, even Song Jingnian, we would accept it. I just want to ask you one thing. She looked straight into her daughter's eyes. Is your insistence on marrying Yi Chen truly just because of the promise and business considerations? Or do you love him? Of course. It's because of... Jiang Wanning blurted out, but the words caught in her throat halfway. Because if it were only for the promise and business, she should have let go already. Mother Jiang sighed softly, understanding. Wanning, now that Yi Chen is gone, can't you recognize your own heart? Do you truly not love him? Or are you afraid to admit that you love him? Jiang Wanning had no idea how she left the Jiang family house. Her mother's words echoed in her mind, Jiang Wanning clenched her fists tightly. No! How could I love him? I clearly love Jing Nian. Thinking this, she immediately wanted to find Song Jing Nian. It must be that too many things had happened recently, causing her to be a little confused. As long as she saw Jing Nian, she would surely realize who she truly loved. Thinking this, she asked her assistant and learned that Song Jing Nian was at a KTV, having a party with friends. She immediately went over, but when she arrived at the KTV room door, before she could push the door open, she heard the voice of one of Song Jing Nian's friends. Brother An, you confidently said you would marry the daughter of the Jiang family, so did you pull it off or not? Jiang Wanning's hand, ready to push the door, froze. She looked up in disbelief, seeing the scene through the glass part of the door. Song Jing Nian was surrounded by his friends, his face devoid of his usual pitiful look, instead filled with arrogant smugness. Of course I pulled it off, didn't you hear? His old man of a fiancé, Xiao Yichen, has gone to the Aerospace Research Institute and won't be back for 10 or 20 years. The group of guys immediately cheered. Brother An is amazing. You managed to break up such a solid engagement and partnership between the Xiao and Zhang families. Brother An, quickly teach us how you made Xiao Yichen withdraw on his own. We need to learn from you. Song Jing Nian smiled even more proudly. Of course, I did a lot of things. For example, in the beginning, the reason Auntie agreed to hold the wedding was because I drugged her. In her confusion, she slept with Xiao Yichen. Jiang Wanning's pupils constricted violently outside the door. That night, when they slept together, I had always said they were both drunk, but Jiang Wanning naturally knew that being drunk wasn't like that. So she originally thought I had drugged her to force her to fulfill the engagement. But she only guessed half right. She was indeed drugged, but it wasn't by me. It was by Song Jing Nian. But why would Jing Nian do that? Not only Jiang Wanning, but also Song Jing Nian's friends were confused. Brother An, I don't get it. Wasn't that forcing your auntie to marry Xiao Yichen? Why would you do that? Song Jing Nian smiled shrewdly. You guys don't understand. The cooperation between the Jiang and Xiao families is so solid that this engagement must be fulfilled. Even if Auntie didn't marry him now, she would have to marry him eventually. Since that's the case, I might as well seize the opportunity to make Auntie believe that Xiao Yichen was the one who planned it, making her completely despise him. Jiang Wanning outside the door couldn't believe her ears. Was this calculating man really the pure and lovable Jing Nian she cherished? In the room, Song Jing Nian's friends continued to yell praises. Song Jing Nian smiled even more smugly. That was just the beginning. Then, at the auction, I deliberately wanted the artwork by Xiao Yichen's mother, making Auntie spend a huge amount of money to buy it. After that, I deliberately broke it. Then, at his birthday party, I drugged myself to make Auntie sleep with me. Once that happened, I knew Auntie would never forget me for the rest of her life, but that wasn't enough. I wanted Auntie to think that he had drugged me, making her hate Xiao Yichen even more. I didn't expect his tactics to improve, though. He actually injured himself to make Auntie believe him. This time, the frame-up didn't work, but it doesn't matter. I went for something big next. I directly set fire to the Xiao family house. In a moment of crisis, Auntie naturally saved me instead of him. Xiao Yichen completely gave up on Auntie after that. Ha 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 ha. I did all that to make Xiao Yichen heartbroken toward Auntie and withdraw on his own. I can't believe I actually succeeded. Ha ha ha. That fool ran away with his tail between his legs. The position of son-in-law of the Zhang family is mine. Song Jing Nian was so pleased that his nose was practically in the air, but unexpectedly, bang! The door of the private room was suddenly thrown open violently from the outside. Seeing the woman with an ashen face walk in, Song Jing Nian's smug smile froze and his face instantly turned pale. Auntie, Song Jing Nian quickly and frantically tried to put back on his mask of pitiful innocence, but it was too late. Jiang Wanning walked straight over, and a slap landed squarely on his face. Song Jing Nian's friends around them fled in terror, leaving only Jiang Wanning and Song Jing Nian. Song Jing Nian. Jiang Wanning ground out through clenched teeth. You really made a fool of me all these years. Jiang Wanning remembered the first time she met Song Jing Nian. His mother had just died, and the little boy, with red eyes, asked her where his mother went. Guilt and heartache made her decide to take care of this child for life. Initially, it was out of a sense of responsibility and pity, but later, the boy slowly grew up, looking different from all the young men she knew. The young men in her circle always drove the best cars, wore the best watches, and were arrogant and self-centered. But Song Jingnian always seemed so humble, feeling unworthy of everything. This made Zhang Wanning pity him even more, and it was this pity that made her believe she loved Song Jingnian. But now, as she saw Song Jingnian's true face, she suddenly realized she only felt the fury of being deceived, but no sense of heartbreak or disappointment. Why? If she truly loved Song Jingnian, why wouldn't she be heartbroken? Instead, when she thought of me, she felt a suffocating pain. She thought of the look on my pale face when Song Jingnian broke my mother's artwork. She thought of my resolve when I was drugged but forcefully stabbed myself with the scissors rather than touch her. She thought of the calm, yet unsurprised expression in my eyes as I watched her in the fire. Zhang Wanning felt like she couldn't breathe. All the fury could only be directed at Song Jingnian in front of her. At this moment, she truly wished she could kill Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian felt the woman's murderous intent and was genuinely terrified. He stammered, "Auntie, please, for my mother's sake." Jiang Wanning's pupils constricted, and the murderous intent in her eyes finally faded. "Song Jingnian," she said coldly, without any of the former tenderness or affection, only the coldness of a stranger. "I have already repaid the debt I owed your mother all these years. From now on, you and I have nothing to do with each other." With that, she turned and left, not looking back, even though Song Jingnian shouted her name behind her. Jiang Wanning rushed back home and saw many items in the living room. She frowned. "What are these?" Mother Zhang's expression was calm. "Yi Chen sent us some things before. I took them out today. Also, when I was putting things away, I found a lot of things you had thrown into the basement. Take a look at what they are." Jiang Wanning looked at the items and was momentarily stunned. There were 2 piles of items. The first pile was the things I had asked someone to send her. She looked at them and saw they were all gifts she had given me before. Since many were bought casually through her assistant, she didn't even remember them. Jiang Wanning's eyes dimmed. I had already returned everything to them before I left. Her gaze fell on the other pile of items. She recognized these as the things I had given her. She then remembered that I used to love giving her gifts. I would give them for her birthday, anniversaries, and all sorts of holidays. She grew tired of it and simply threw the gifts into a basement without even opening them. Now, Mother Zhang had sorted them out. JT Iang Wanning carefully opened those dusty gifts one by one. There was the academic charm I prayed for when she was taking her college entrance exams. She remembered that this particular temple was known to be the most effective, but it required lining up for over 10 hours starting at midnight. There was the luxury brand handbag I bought her for her birthday last year, which reportedly required contacting the designer personally to purchase. And there was the equity transfer contract for a film and television company she casually mentioned wanting to acquire last month, which I managed to secure for her. So many gifts, each one full of sincere affection. But she never dreamed that she hadn't opened any of them. Jiang Wanning's heart ached, as if it were being torn apart. What have I done? I had trampled the sincere heart of such an affectionate man, treating him with disdain, while cherishing another man full of lies as a treasure. She trembled, her gaze finally resting on the very last item. Her eyes suddenly lit up. She remembered. This last item was what I had given her a few days ago. If I truly wanted to give up on her long ago, why would I still give her a gift? At this moment, Jiang Wanning felt like she had grasped the last straw. She eagerly opened the gift, but seeing what was inside, she was dumbfounded. It was the Zhang family's heirloom jade pendant. So what I gave her was not a gift at all, but the return of the engagement token. I was truly cutting off all ties with her. The last straw in Jiang Wanning's heart was violently shredded. She finally couldn't bear it and blacked out. Jiang Wanning had a high fever. The doctor said it was likely caused by extreme emotional distress. She was sick for 3 days and 3 nights and didn't regain consciousness. In her coma, she constantly mumbled names, sometimes Song Jingnian, sometimes mine. Father and Mother Zhang were extremely worried. 3 days later, Jiang Wanning finally woke up. Mother Zhang rushed over. "Wanning, you're finally awake. You were in a coma for 3 days. You scared your mother to death, you know? After saying this, she suddenly realized that the Jiang Wanning in front of her looked very different from usual, as if she had become a different person. She was terrified, and her voice trembled uncontrollably. "Wanning, don't scare me. Are you all right?" Jiang Wanning finally collected herself, and her expression returned to the one Mother Jiang was familiar with. However, her expression was still complex. "Mom, I had a dream," she whispered. "In the dream, Yi Chen married me, but I failed him." Mother Jiang's eyes welled up when she heard this. "Oh, my child, why must you do this?" she choked up. "Yi Chen loved you so much before. You didn't cherish it. Now that he's gone, you're dwelling on it in your sleep. But no matter how much you dream, he's not coming back." Jiang Wanning frowned. She knew very well that the dream was absolutely not a dream born out of simple longing for me. That dream was too strange, as real as if everything had actually happened. In the dream, she and I were also engaged from a young age. But the me in the dream did not go to any aerospace-based project. Instead, I naturally married her. The her in the dream never recognized Song Jingyan's true face, and never recognized her own feelings for me. So the her in the dream was very unkind to me. For over 20 years of marriage, she never bought me a gift, never went on a date with me, and even marital intimacy was like a routine task, only happening once a month after I requested it on my 35th birthday. Not only that, the her in the dream was always thinking about Song Jingyan. Although she didn't do anything inappropriate with Song Jingyan, she gave all her love and care to him. Her marriage with me, which was in name only, lasted for over 20 years, until she was 55 years old. A major accident occurred in her pharmaceutical company. The accident was, upon close examination, closely related to Song Jingyan. By then, Song Jingyan had also married someone else. His wife was a girl from a family with a bit of money. The Jiang Wanning in the dream, despite being extremely jealous of that girl, still gave her family many business opportunities, just to ensure Song Jingyan had a comfortable financial life. But unexpectedly, the girl was so unreliable. A simple drug production process resulted in a huge error, leading to drug bacterial contamination, killing many people. Jiang Wanning had to handle these matters, keeping her extremely busy. Just then, Song Jingyan suddenly called her in the middle of the night, saying he was feeling unwell and that his wife was away on a business trip, with no one to keep him company, asking Jiang Wanning to rush over to accompany him. The Jiang Wanning in the dream was truly infatuated with Song Jingyan to the extreme. She actually ignored the heavy snowstorm in the middle of the night and dared to go find Song Jingyan. Unexpectedly, due to the slippery roads and fatigue driving, a car accident occurred. The Jiang Wanning in the dream died like that at the age of 55. But miraculously, even though the Jiang Wanning in the dream died, her consciousness did not completely dissipate. She could still clearly see everything that happened in that world. Thus, she personally saw that after her death, I finally found the photo album she had kept locked away in the safe. The album was filled with all of Song Jingyan's photos, from his high school graduation to his college life. Every year's birthday, every place they had been to together was meticulously recorded and carefully treasured in the album. The me in the dream finally realized Jiang Wanning's feelings for Song Jingyan after seeing that album. Not only that, but the Jiang Wanning in the dream had already made a will before her death, leaving all her assets to Song Jingyan. This did not surprise Jiang Wanning. Her own original plan was also to immediately make a will after marriage, transferring all her inheritance to Song Jingyan. She originally felt that since she couldn't give Jingyan commitment and happiness in this life, she should at least give all her wealth to Song Jingyan. That was also why she lied to me about getting a vasectomy and absolutely refusing to have children with me. The her in the dream did exactly that. She was married to me for over 20 years without children, and all her inheritance went to Song Jingyan. I received nothing, except for the debts Jiang Wanning incurred, which automatically transferred to me as her husband. In fact, with my net worth, I could completely handle these debts. But the victims' families were completely unaware, believing that since Jiang Wanning didn't leave me her assets, I had no way to pay off the huge debt. Thus, in their anger, they stabbed me to death. The immense pain and panic woke Jiang Wanning from the dream. The moment she woke up, Jiang Wanning couldn't tell for a second whether she was the Jiang Wanning of this world or the Jiang Wanning of that other world in the dream. Her emotions were also extremely complex. The moment she woke up, she was happy. because the me of this world was still alive and hadn't been stabbed to death because of her. But the next second, she realized that although I was alive, I had gone to a place where she could never find me, and she felt a heart-wrenching pain that made it hard to breathe. After all, the her in the dream, no matter what, truly had me for over 20 years. But the her of the present had completely lost me. Thinking this, she felt an unbearable heartache. Every breath felt laborious. Seeing her like this, Mother Jiang was frightened. She quickly pulled her. "Wan Ning, what's wrong? Are you uncomfortable somewhere? Should I call the doctor?" Jiang Wanning looked up at her mother, her eyes red, and choked out the words in a hoarse voice. "Mom, I think I really love Xiao Yichen." The moment she said this, Jiang Wanning felt as if a stone in her chest had finally dropped. She was finally willing to admit and finally willing to face her feelings for me. Mother Jiang was stunned when she heard this, but then couldn't help but cry. "I knew it long ago. Everyone says that no one knows a girl like her mother. I actually noticed when you were very young that you had Yichen in your heart, but I don't know why you were always unwilling to admit your feelings. But I knew you must like him, which is why I kept pushing for this marriage. Otherwise, do you think I, as a mother, would truly force my daughter to marry someone she didn't love just for the sake of a deceased best friend? But, my foolish child, since you like him in your heart, why didn't you admit it earlier? Why didn't you treat him better earlier? Why did you have to wound him so deeply and make him leave disheartened before you realized it belatedly?" Jiang Wanning was completely lost in thought, rooted to the spot, yes. She had always considered herself clever. She could always see through the tactics and true intentions of business rivals on the market at a glance. But why couldn't she see through her own heart? Perhaps it was just a bit of rebellion. She and I met when we were very young and could be considered childhood sweethearts. When she was little, she was genuinely very good to me. When playing house, she always wanted to play mom and dad with me. But when did things change? It was the year I was in high school and my mother passed away. Her mother suddenly said she wanted to formalize the engagement between the two families, making us truly family. And at that time, Jiang Wanning was just busy with her college entrance exam application. The text cuts off here. I had a fierce argument with my parents. My parents hoped I would study finance and management to take over the family business, but my true dream was actually to study fashion design. In the end, I succumbed to my parents' demands and enrolled in a major I disliked, but that streak of rebellion remained within me. When my parents again arranged my engagement, that rebellion finally erupted completely. Why should my parents interfere not only with my major, but also with my future marriage? In an act of rebellion, I became increasingly mean to him, as if being mean to him was a form of defiance against my parents. Later, as I was about to graduate from college, I met Song Jingyan. Song Jingyan was the complete opposite of me. I was smart, Song Jingyan was innocent. I was generous. Song Jingyan was timid and unsure. I was a high and mighty young master, while Song Jingyan was an orphan with nothing. It was this strong contrast that made Jiang Wanning increasingly sympathetic to Song Jingyan. It was as if the better she treated Song Jingyan, the more it proved that I was not the type she liked, and that her marriage to me was entirely forced by her parents. She herself never realized that she was deeply trapped by this twisted ideology, involuntarily making a wrong choice. But only now did she discover that Song Jingyan was not the innocent young man she thought he was. Yet even if he were, she hadn't truly loved him either. It was merely 3 parts pity and 7 parts rebellion. In her heart, the person she had always liked was me. After all, she had already taken over most of the family business and become the true head of the household. If she truly didn't want to marry me, she could have completely disregarded her parents' orders, but she kept clinging to the marriage under the guise of keeping her promise. She actually loved me, but now it was too late for her to realize all this. Mother Jiang, still crying beside her, continued to speak. "Now, everything is too late. Yichen's project will only see him return in 10, maybe 20 years. The two of you have eventually drifted apart. The past is the past. Who doesn't experience heartbreak in this life? You should just let go and find someone you truly like." Jiang Wanning trembled and suddenly looked up. "No, I won't let go." Mother Jiang saw Jiang Wanning's hands clenched tightly, and she spoke firmly. "I will definitely get Yichen back as long as he is still on this earth. No matter how far, I will chase him and bring him back." Yes. In a brief moment, Jiang Wanning had thought it through. Compared to the dream where both of them died and spent 20 years in a hollow marriage, reality was at least more hopeful. So what if I left? As long as I was still alive in this world, she would definitely be able to win me back. Moreover, she believed that I liked her so much that it was absolutely impossible for me to truly just let go. It was just that she had been so awful to me before that I became disheartened and temporarily wanted to escape. But now she had recognized her own heart. As long as she properly pursues me, they can still reconcile. Mother Jiang was dumbfounded. Child, what nonsense are you saying? Yi Chen has gone to a national-level top-secret project. How can you possibly find him? Jiang Wanning's expression was calm. There will always be a way. Even if I can't find him, I will wait for him. I can wait 10 or 20 years. What are you saying? Mother Jiang was stunned, but looking at her daughter's determined expression, she knew that no matter what, she couldn't talk her out of it. After all, the person in front of her was no longer the girl who could be manipulated by them. She had completely grown up. Neither she nor Father Jiang could control her anymore. Jiang Wanning immediately took action. After being discharged from the hospital, she contacted many people, hoping to use her connections to find out which project and which base I was at. However, the project was indeed too confidential. Even with all her efforts, she couldn't find out. She could only resort to indirect tactics, beginning to invest large sums of money into various aerospace projects. These projects were actually government-controlled, but some private enterprises could join in the name of investment and donation if they provided enough money. Jiang Wanning did exactly this, giving huge sums of money almost without considering the cost. She was constantly laying the groundwork, believing that one day she would be able to find out where I was. At the wedding, Father and Mother Jiang told everyone I was injured and that the wedding was postponed for a month. But now that a month had passed and there was still no sign of me, many people started asking questions. Father and Mother Jiang then finally admitted that I had canceled the engagement. Everyone was aghast. They originally thought the Jiang family would find Jiang Wanning another suitable husband, but unexpectedly, Jiang Wanning publicly announced that she would wait for me. She didn't explicitly say where I had gone, only that I had gone abroad for further study, but that she would definitely wait for my return. A wealthy heiress boldly pursuing love, such a love story is always a popular subject for gossip. Furthermore, the Shao and Jiang families were already prominent, and both Jiang Wanning and I were considered very good-looking among the younger generation. Therefore, we already had a following and popularity online. Now, Jiang Wanning's declaration of love became a trending topic online. Meanwhile, at the aerospace base in the Northwest, have you looked online? That wealthy heiress named Jiang Wanning actually publicly announced on the internet that she's waiting for her fiancé who went abroad for study. I saw it too, but I remember she used to be quite dismissive of her fiancé, didn't she? I think once, for his birthday, her fiancé put up messages on screens in many places, wishing her a happy birthday. A reporter interviewed her and asked for her thoughts, and she just coldly said it was a pointless waste of money. But what was the fiancé's name again? I think it was Zhao Yichen. As these few researchers spoke, they suddenly looked at me, sitting silently in front, eating with my head lowered. Yeah, Chen, his name is exactly the same as yours, even the surname. My hand holding the chopsticks paused. Life at the aerospace base was supposedly secluded, with no contact with anyone outside, to prevent the leakage of secrets. But it was impossible to truly cut off all the researchers from the internet. No one could endure life without such basic entertainment. Therefore, the researchers could go online to read news and even shop online, but they were not allowed to post any comments or threads. Items bought online had to be shipped to a fixed address, inspected, and then delivered. So they had seen all of Jiang Wanning's public declarations of love online recently. My colleagues all looked at me curiously. Yi Chen, speaking of which, the time Jiang Wanning's fiancé left seems similar to when you arrived. Except his fiancé went abroad to study, and you came to this base. Yeah, if you didn't look closely, I would have thought Yi Chen was Jiang Wanning's fiancé. Everyone laughed. I managed to force a smile and said, "There are many people in the world with the same name, aren't there?" My colleagues at the base weren't particularly close to each other. So except for the senior colleague who was initially in charge of me, who knew my background from my files, my colleagues were unaware that I was the famous heir of the Shao family. They would never have guessed my true identity. After all, in their perception, what rich second generation would abandon a fortune and a life of luxury and debauchery to come to such a difficult place to be a researcher? Therefore, everyone heard my words and didn't have any suspicion, continuing their lively gossip. Finally, the senior colleague who knew my background couldn't help but ask when the two of us were alone later in the evening, cross-checking data. Yi-chen, although you haven't mentioned it, I can tell you came here because your fiancé broke your heart. She seems to realize her mistake now. Are you considering going back? The senior colleague hesitated before saying, although we can't leave this base before the project is finished, if we apply specifically, it's not impossible. But unexpectedly, I replied without hesitation. I won't be leaving. I looked up at the senior colleague and said calmly, she might genuinely regret it now, but it doesn't matter. I came here not to spite her and not to hide from her. I came here to pursue my own dream. Yes, I had also seen Jang Won-ning's announcements, but I didn't care. So what if Jang Won-ning in this life realized she loved me? So what if everything she said this time was sincere? Late, deep affection is cheaper than grass. No matter how much Jang Won-ning regrets it now, the harm she caused me in this life and all the events of the previous life cannot be changed. So I don't want to give up anything for a woman like that. I came here to pursue my own dream, not for anyone else. In this life, I only want to live for myself. The senior colleague was stunned when he heard my words and finally nodded sheepishly. Yes, I thought too narrowly of you, I apologize. And so my life at the base continued, calmly devoted to research. Watching the project progress little by little made me happier than anyone. Time flew by at the research base. Unknowingly, 3 years passed. On this day, I had just left the laboratory when I ran into an executive. The executive immediately pulled me aside. Ye-chen, tonight there's a thank you dinner for outstanding corporate donors. Come with us? I frowned. No thank you, I'm just a researcher. External affairs like this shouldn't be my responsibility. The leader waved his hand. Don't be polite with me. We executives actually all know that you're the heir of the wealthy Xiao family. You definitely know more about these kinds of social situations than us old scholars. Just come along. Reluctantly, I had no choice but to follow the leaders to the dinner venue. But unexpectedly, as soon as I entered, I saw Jang Won-ning in a formal dress. I froze completely. Jang Won-ning also quickly stood up, her face filled with joy. Yi-chen! And I finally understood what was going on. I frowned and whispered, Leader, I think I'll go back to my research work. I turned to leave, but just as I reached the hallway, Jang Won-ning had already reached out and grabbed me. Yi-chen, why are you hiding from me? I pulled her hand away and said calmly, I'm not hiding. Jang Won-ning became even more agitated. You're lying. You saw me and immediately tried to leave. If you truly didn't care about me, why wouldn't you dare face me? I finally sighed helplessly. I looked down at Jang Won-ning, not avoiding her gaze. Did you see that? I'm not avoiding you. I told you I just don't want to waste any more time on you. That's all. I was speaking the truth. A whole lifetime in the previous life, and my youth in this life, I had wasted too much time on Jang Won-ning. I didn't want to have any more deep involvement with her in the coming moments. A look of hurt flashed in Jang Won-ning's eyes. I'm sorry, Yi-chen. I was wrong. The woman, who was always so arrogant, bowed her head for the first time, speaking humbly. Please forgive me. I was truly awful before. I promise I will be good to you from now on. Will you come with me? I just looked at her coldly. You don't need to beg me. I already told you. We canceled the engagement, and we are strangers. There's nothing more to say. But I don't want to let you go. Jang Won-ning grabbed my arm frantically. Do you know? After you left, I had a dream. The dream seemed to be about my previous life. In the previous life, we were married, but I was always terrible to you. In the end, I died, and you were even stabbed to death because of me. My heart ached so much after I woke up. I only then realized that I truly love you. I beg you, please don't leave me again, okay? Jang Won-ning said this about the dream just to clearly express the process of her realizing her true feelings. But unexpectedly, when I heard her words, my expression changed. I looked at Jang Won-ning. After a long time, I finally said, what if that wasn't a dream? Jang Won-ning froze. Yi-chen, what do you mean? I pulled my hand away from Jang Won-ning and said calmly, there's nothing for me to hide from you now. Jang Won-ning, I am reborn. The dream you spoke of was actually our past life. So all the pain and despair I experienced in your dream were real. Jang Won-ning was speechless, and I looked at her and said word for word, Jang Won-ning, if it were you, If you were betrayed by one person for 20 years in your previous life, waited for 20 years, and were finally murdered because of their selfishness, if you were reborn, would you still be willing to give that person another chance, and would you be willing to waste even 1 minute on that person? Jiang Wanning's face was as pale as paper. She stood there, unable to utter a single word. And I spoke calmly. Your expression has already told me your answer. So I hope you can also understand me, Jiang Wanning. Don't look for me again. With that, I walked away without looking back. Jiang Wanning stood still, utterly lost. She had previously thought the dream was too real, but she never expected that I would tell her the dream was actually true. So I had truly endured all that. Jiang Wanning suddenly collapsed to the ground, her eyes filled with despair. She had originally thought the dream was a warning, allowing her to recognize her true feelings. But she never imagined that the dream was everything I had experienced. If I had gone through all that, I really could never forgive her thinking this. Jiang Wanning broke down and cried. Time flew by quickly. Unknowingly, 7 more years passed. As the manned spacecraft successfully landed, I and all the researchers erupted in cheers. We knew this symbolized the complete success of the project, and the full decade of research was finally over. Everyone was very happy to finally go home. They wondered if their children had grown up and would still recognize them, and if their mothers' chronic knee pain had gotten better over the years. Everyone was anticipating the day they would return home. Only my expression was calm, because I no longer had a home. Both my parents were dead, and Jiang Wanning and I were strangers. My return was just to continue a peaceful life. I soon returned home, but unexpectedly, Mother Jiang was waiting for me. Yi Chen, you're finally back. Mother Jiang grabbed my hand and choked out. If you hadn't come back, Wanning might not have seen you one last time. What? I was stunned. Following Mother Jiang to the hospital, I saw Jiang Wanning lying faintly on the sickbed. What happened? I frowned. Jiang Wanning, in the previous life, clearly lived until her 50s and died due to a car accident. Why was her health so poor in this life? Mother Jiang choked up. Ever since you left, she has been desperately abusing her body, only caring about work, and we couldn't talk her out of it. How could her body withstand such abuse? She was recently diagnosed with late-stage cancer. A person's health is intrinsically linked to genetics, diet, lifestyle, and mood. After I left, Jiang Wanning's mood plummeted, and she tormented herself relentlessly with her lifestyle and diet, ultimately exhausting her health. I looked at Jiang Wanning on the hospital bed. Jiang Wanning smiled bitterly at me. You actually came back. You know, I originally wanted to say that I failed you for 20 years in the previous life, and in this life, I would wait for you for 20 more years. But I didn't expect that I wouldn't be able to wait and would have to leave first. She paused. Yeah, Chen. Now, will you forgive me? Will you give me one more chance? I looked at the withered woman on the sickbed, hesitated for a long time, and finally said, I forgive you. Jiang Wanning's eyes dimmed. I forgave her, but didn't say I would give her another chance. The meaning was obvious. Even facing a dying person, I wasn't willing to say a little white lie to deceive her. Jiang Wanning finally closed her eyes sadly. Never mind. This is all my retribution. In the next life, a true next life, a next life without memories, I will definitely be good to you, she murmured, and finally closed her eyes.